So let's welcome in our political panel. Host of Stacy on the Right on SiriusXM Radio, the great Stacy Washington, alongside her, Newsmax contributor, political strategist Luke Ball. Always good to see you both. Welcome.
Thanks, Ed.
Stacy, your thoughts on AOC saying we should bring joy? Wasn't it joy and vibes and all that Kamala was bringing last time?
Yeah, and look at what a success that was. But Ed, the point you're making is fantastic because she says they should be laughing and enjoying themselves as they're destroying. But let's replace fascism with what they're really destroying, the livelihoods of Americans. And with their rhetoric, they actually work hard to destroy the unity that Americans once felt. Remember, before Barack Obama was elected, we had essentially eradicated the divisions of race in this country. He rolled us back to a kind of Civil War era footing. And now we have the Democrats literally importing people into our country to replace us and to teach us how to do fraud, as if we don't have enough thieves here ourselves. So when she says they want to have fun, aren't they already having fun? And shouldn't we be working to stop them because their fun hurts us?
Yeah, it's, Luke, a good point. It's fun at the expense of the taxpayer. And you think about the Leering Center with Somali fraudsters in Minnesota, what's going on in California and other places. But she wants to bring joy to lying about people like the president.
Yeah, I'm not saying that AOC is unintelligent. I'm just saying if the thought crosses her mind, it's a long, lonely journey. And she's saying that they're dismantling fascism, that she is dismantling all of these systems that have been put in place, authoritarian systems. This is a duly elected president by a majority of Americans that won the popular vote, the Electoral College. And so they just have to keep lying to themselves to cope. And unfortunately, the Democrats are no longer remotely moderate. There's no such thing as a blue dog Democrats. The wackadoodles in that party have pulled it so far to the left that we do start getting into the isms in that party, socialism, Marxism. In fact, they're probably closer to what they're blaming us to be than they actually realize.
Incredible. Stacy, I remember after the 2020 election, you know, the left told us we can't question the election results. We're election deniers. Before the results are even in for the upcoming midterms, the ladies on The View have decided that the Republicans are going to steal the midterm election. Watch.
I don't trust them to not cheat. I don't. The Republicans.
Oh, the Republicans.
Yeah, I don't trust the Republicans.
In the gerrymandering? Well, thank God.
They're trying it with gerrymandering, and then they'll fool around with everything else. I don't trust that.
But
Elon
thank
Musk.
God that it's still in the hands of the states, and you'll know where it's happening.
Yeah.
And
Well, I hope so.
Yes, because he can't take it out of the hands of the states. It's in the hand. Your voting is in the hands of the states.
So when Donald Trump wants to get a review of the mail-in ballots and the fraud that he saw in 2020, they're lying. And now, even before a vote has been cast, the ladies of The View, Stacy, are saying the Republicans are going to cheat.
How can we fix our little hands to cheat when we're too busy adjusting our sweater vests and our bow ties? They can't have it both ways. We're prudes and we don't know anything, and we're the party of the uneducated, but we're also going to cheat. And also, I thought we weren't allowed to question election results. She's setting everybody up to question something that hasn't even happened yet. And who's the king and queen of gerrymandering? A Democrat, one Democrat male, one Democrat female, in case they can figure out who's cisgendered and who's not. These people literally have over 10 states where there's almost no Republican representation. Look what they just tried to do in Virginia. Come on.
Yeah, no, you're right, Luke. Virginia. Let's remember what Gavin Newsom did in California. None of us are saying that the Republican hands are clean. I mean, Ron DeSantis just made sure that Republicans get at least 4 more seats in Florida. But the sanctimony from the left, Luke, about gerrymandering. And then, like Stacey just said, Virginia, they tried to steal all these seats.
Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. It's not like the Democrats, didn't throw the first jab here. The Democrats have been doing this through the courts for decades. And now that Republicans are doing it through the electoral, or rather the legislative process in each individual state legislature, they're just upset that Republicans realize they have the power to do something about districts in this country. And the Democrats don't even hide their own disdain for following the legislative process. They'll bring in third-party arbitrators and independent redistricting commissions to come in, who are most often funded by left-wing groups, and draw their own maps to their own satisfaction. So really, they're just upset the Republicans figured out the game, and we're now using our power through the state legislatures to try and rectify that.
Yeah, well, someone who's figuring out the game of politics pretty quickly is Spencer Pratt. He was an independent, lost his home in Pacific Palisades because of the incompetence of the L.A. Mayor Karen Bass, as well as the governor Gavin Newsom. He's now running against Bass as a Republican. They had a debate last night, and Karen Bass couldn't even articulate why she should be getting a second term. Watch.
Articulate for us why you should get a second contract as the mayor of the city.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you. You know, when I took over as mayor, LA was definitely facing an awful lot of tough problems. And obviously, January 7th was horrible. And as I have told you before, it was one of the worst moments of my life to not be here when my city needed me.
January 7th, Stacy, of course, the wildfires. And she was in Ghana. She was not in L.A., and they couldn't get water out of the fire hydrants.
Yeah, she was in the African nation state of Ghana. Beautiful country. My mom's best friend is from there. But what was she doing there? Why was she actually out of the country when there was no water in the reservoirs? I'm just going to be old Stacy from the 1900s and say no field trips until you fill up the reservoirs. Like, is that not a basic minimum that she could have adhered to as mayor? She talks about what the place was like when she took over. She made it worse. No matter what it was like before, it's worse now. She should not be reelected.
Absolutely. Luke, you've been studying this game that you mentioned, the game, and hating the game and not the player, I think. I want to get your read on how Spencer Pratt is at this game. Here he is going right at Karen Bass, this former independent now running for mayor as Republican. Watch.
And so the winds reached close to 100 miles an hour, and the planes were unable to fly. So if there were reservoirs, if that reservoir had been open, it would not have worked. We had two other reservoirs totaling 8 billion gallons that were available. But could not fly.
Yes, she mentioned me. So she's an incredible liar. Everyone on their phones, Google it. 40 weather stations in the Pacific Palisades. It never went above 40 miles per hour. She is referencing the Altadena fire.
No. I have to interrupt you. No name calling,
She just
please.
lied, though.
Yeah, but no name calling.
She called me a liar.
Well, I can't believe these moderators are protecting her. No name calling. When I say she's lying, I can show you. Google it, as you heard, Luke. There's another reality show star named Donald Trump who got into Republican politics and did pretty good. What do you think about Spencer Pratt?
Oh, I love it. And I really get irritated when I see deep blue cities or districts like Washington, D.C. that don't have an articulate Republican countering the arguments from the Democrat Party. Because even if they don't stand a chance to win the election, you have to have that pushback because it forces the Democrats to defend their ridiculous position. And it also allows for a national media exposure. It's not just about winning the race necessarily. If you're in a D+50 district, but you're out there countering all of the arguments that they're presenting because they're just used to saying stuff and it being accepted in their lexicon over there in the deep blue Democrat pockets, then they're going to keep doing that. But when you have really good Republican communicators who counter that messaging with facts and with really creative communication skills, that's exactly what we need all across America.
All right. Luke, Stacy, always appreciate your insights. We'll have you back soon. Thank you.
Thanks, man.